Recently, I decided to replay Half-Life 2, and I noticed something about City 17 that I've never thought about before. Obviously, City 17 is a dense, urban, Eastern European city which one might consider walkable. This is precisely the fact I want to bring up, which is that City 17 is missing out on its true potential. It could have larger roads, bigger buildings, more parking lots, more American infrastructure. Most importantly, however, it's lacking a Walmart. Let's change that. To better suit City 17 to fit American infrastructure standards, we need to first be able to actually utilize eminent domain to fit our urban renewal plan. However, there's one problem with this. The Combine. This intergalactic union currently resides on Earth, with all political and administrative decisions being made by Dr. Wallace Brain. Getting rid of the Combine will be no easy feat. There will be trials, tribulations, and likely many deaths in the process. However, there is a very easy solution to all of this, which is to cut off the head of the snake.
What's the meaning of this? Beautiful.
Now, the loss of Breen in the Citadel should impact the Combine forces dramatically. However, many still reside in City 17, and that's no good. We can't even form a government if this rampant space union is still in control. Fortunately, I have a tool up my sleeve, which is my army of Mantis Men. They have been trained in the arts of iambic pentameter, and bear powers granted by the mandate of heaven. The Combine stand no chance. With the Combine now removed from the equation, we can now erect a temporary shadow government composed of the Mantis Council. These Mantis Men will act as a new governing body for the entire world, allowing for a smooth and peaceful transition into a pre-Combine world. At this point, the vast majority of the obstacles preventing our reconstruction of City 17 have been removed, but we now need to develop a comprehensive plan for our design. In the outskirts of City 17, we have created the City 17 Redevelopment Office, a temporary camp for workers, machinery, and offices that will help us design our plan. Fortunately, for our purposes, we now have access to intermodal transportation. With the Combine gone, we can shove trains in and out of the city to deliver heavy machinery and other supplies. In addition, we have a fleet of semi-trucks, each of which will be highly important to our cause. Unfortunately, we have yet again hit another obstacle. The workers are revolting before we've even begun. It turns out their mandated diet of bread and water is unacceptable, and they will not work without proper sustenance, whatever that means. Let's take a look at our spreadsheet. We've been granted a budget of $925,247,394. It's quite a hefty amount of money, but we have many workers and many things to pay for. The thing is, our problems are getting worse, and the workers are going on strike, and their demands could sideline the entire project. Here's the thing. There are currently 690 workers employed and paid by our budget, with salaries ranging from as low as $15 to over $30 an hour. We currently already spend $1,752 a day on just bread for their meals and $165 a day on water. However, what they're proposing is preposterous. They want wine and eggs in addition to their current meal. Sickening. Unfortunately, we have no other choice, and will now have to begin spending more than $8,000 a day on wine. This, in addition to the money we're paying for the eggs, will bring the total cost of our food to $10,764 per day. Finally, with the workers appeased, we can draft our plan. Phase 1 is simple. We're first going to widen the roads to allow for 4-lane roads, with 2 traveling in each direction. Of course, the City 17 square will also have to be redesigned given the new lanes. So, we're going to demolish it outright and build an intersection to perform traffic control with traffic lights. Phase 2 is a little bit more complicated. In order to better accommodate residents in City 17, we're going to build multiple large-scale housing developments in addition to some suburbs. Phase 3 is where the money is made. While partnerships with big box stores, fast food restaurants, and other chain companies are still being formed, we're going to break ground on a series of new establishments to further the economic growth of City 17. Phase 4 is fairly straightforward. In order to accommodate Phase 2 and the previous Phase 3, we're going to start the construction of multiple parking lots and parking garages across the city. So, let's begin with Phase 1. The first stage is to begin cracking the pavement and sidewalks in order to expand the size of the road. We're going to have to sacrifice sidewalk space in favor of the road, but that's necessary given what we're trying to accomplish. Let's recall that City 17 is an old European city, and any expansions or reconstruction in the city center is difficult due to the existing architecture. But with a dash of balding eagle and hamburger, we can make this a truly American city. In addition to the pavement cracking, some crews have begun to dismantle combine technology and walls to make room for a truly free City 17. In the meantime, we have another team demolishing the city square. Easier said than done, but a large pillar still stands. This requires surgical precision to ensure that it does not fall prematurely. But unfortunately, the crews taking this down are a little incompetent. Tragic, but informative. More tragic is the fact that we now have to pay healthcare insurance premiums for every single worker, which is about $1,200 per worker. Oh my lord, we're paying $828,000 every 32 days? Jesus. But it's no matter. After about 94 days of work, our new roads are built, and Phase 1 is complete. It came in at a fairly reasonable cost of about $29 million, giving us a remaining budget of about under $900 million. So now, it's time for Phase 2. Phase 2 is arguably the most expensive phase of the project, and given this, we're unfortunately going to have to cut the suburbs in exchange for nearly 2,000 apartments in an enormous $520 million development. This will allot for around 20 apartment buildings with 100 units each. Fortunately, the design of our buildings is all very simple, making the construction of each very straightforward. However, to allot for the full amount of buildings we want to build, numerous buildings will have to be demolished to make way for the development. Given the accident that occurred earlier in Phase 1, our workers are smart and won't make the same mistake again. Well, thankfully, this won't happen again.
Have you ever seen anything like this? Are we lost?
Or so we thought. God damn it, our insurance premiums are up again by double. This incident has led to Phase 2 costing a whopping $607 million for 297 days of work, with a remaining budget of just under $300 million. Given the constant series of accidents occurring during the City 17 redevelopment project, the Council of Mantis Men has decided to call an emergency meeting to discuss the issue. The Council believes that a separate fund for public transit should be scrapped in favor of highways. This is due not only for the fact that the redevelopment project has had far less accidents, but also because it is far cheaper. There is also the fact that a commuter train route was designed to go through Ravenholm, but as we all know, we don't go to Ravenholm. Needless to say, the accidents that the transit project suffered are far worse.
Attention passengers, the next power flight.
As such, the Mantis Men have decided to cancel all public transit projects indefinitely and add a new priority to Phase 3, highways. Phase 3 is fortunately fairly straightforward, but it requires further demolition of existing City 17 structures for a new series of businesses and respective buildings. In addition, a large 6-lane highway will be built through the city, requiring additional demolition. The highway is a particularly interesting project as it allows for the city center to be truly connected to the rest of the world. However, Phase 3 actually extends far beyond City 17 itself to the aptly named Highway 17, which requires massive amounts of rock-face demolition to expand the road to accommodate more vehicles. Fortunately for the City 17 team, the construction of the highway is not a difficult process. Given the previous failures and accidents that have occurred, they've made sure to create the highway out of strong materials. Simultaneously, new stores and restaurants have bought out the properties we built for them, such as Home Depot, Walmart, Burger King, Starbucks, and multiple other retail outlets. Phase 3 is now complete, at a length of 158 days costing $136 million, accommodating the daily construction expenses and cost of building the new highway. Fortunately, it was offset by the construction of the retail outlets. Let's take a brief drive through the city. It's beautiful. No grass to be seen, and concrete everywhere. As we enter Phase 4, we still have a budget of $151 million. Phase 4 is also fortunately very straightforward, with the construction of multiple parking lots and garages across the city. But unfortunately, due to a terrorist attack, the parking garages were destroyed, which is really a nicer way of saying that Hammer was very fed up with the amount of brushes used to create the parking garage. And if you want to know why that is, just look at one of the parking spaces in Hammer. Yeah, there's a couple hundred of these in the map even without the parking garage. You are never getting this map on the Steam Workshop. We've also allocated funds to construct a new city hall to replace the Citadel, where the Mantis Men will reside. It's at this point where the City 17 redevelopment project seems to have finally come to its conclusion. While Phase 4 itself was rapidly completed in only 72 days at the cost of $42 million, it leaves us with a grand total of around $108 million. Given this large sum of money that still remains, the Mantis Council convenes a special session in the newly built City Hall to discuss potential uses for the money. After lots of deliberation, it is decided. City 17 will sponsor a race. Glorious. City 17 has finally reached its true potential, and it stands as a monument to what can be done with the power of urban renewal and eminent domain. If you enjoyed this video, leave a like and subscribe. You're gonna wanna, because we've got some wacky stuff down the line. Peace.